We are good to go.
I think it's still loading.
Still loading? Okay.
It says you're allowed now. Okay, so let me just click the link and see if I can see myself.
We just want to make sure everyone...
Yeah, I can see myself.
Okay.
All right. Echo.
We just want to make sure everyone gets a chance to, view it, because we do have some listeners, or viewers, I should say, who are international. And I just want to welcome you guys. If you're new to the Pearl Tips, I'm on Facebook, the Pearl Kennedy Group, and Pearl Tips is a part of the show. If you're new to this, what I like to do with my shows is every time I have a show, I say a prayer before I get started. So you can join me or choose not to. That's your prerogative. But I'm going to open up our show in prayer. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to be here today, and I thank you that you have ordained this, and I pray for all the marriages out there, all of the relationships out there, Lord. I pray that you would strengthen them and they'll be able to prosper and gain some new insight out of this discussion. I pray that you cover our marriage as well and just take away all the nerves so that your name will be glorified. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so the big topic for today is a male's perspective on marriage. Now, disclaimer. Okay.
Oh, let me go ahead and get part of my disclaimer out here. Okay. So I'm a married man. Yes, I am indeed. That's this thing here. But I am in no means a professional marriage counselor. I don't know everything I'm doing. This is a work in progress. These are things that I feel about my walk in life with marriage and how it's affecting our lives together and moving forward. So that's you do the professional stuff.
Yes. And on the other hand, I am an MSW. Wow, I almost said MCSW. I'm an MSW, a Master's of Social Work, and I've been doing counseling for over 10 years with mental health, substance abuse, children, families, you name it. I've touched veterans. I'm also a person who is diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And the reason why the Pearl Kennedy Group and the Pearl Tips was formed was to just kind of break the stigma of mental health and just have an open discussion about mental health in the people of color community and just in general as well. So we have been married for 2 years.
2 years.
We've known each other since we were 13 years old.
Yes. She wasn't feeling back then.
We are still new at this. So with respect to those individuals who have been married a long time, we don't know it all. We don't pretend to know it all.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
We're still learning.
I think that helps, though. I'm honest with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Not pretending that I know everything or you know everything. Living life the best we can.
Yes.
And the best way God shows us.
And even as a professional, I'm also still learning. It's a lifelong journey because people are constantly evolving, and we learn from that. I am also proud to say that husband, CEO, family man, Echo Graphix,
you know what it
is the name of the company. Anything print and marketing.
I can do it. Anything that you've seen printed, you've seen a Frisbee, billboard, you've seen pins, magnets, T-shirts, bandanas. I'm working on doing those little tumbler things, little coffee cups.
Anything.
All right. Yeah. Anything you can think of, I can do it. Yeah.
If you would like to ask us any questions,
I was just about to ask that.
Feel free to do that.
You gotta get the comment section.
You should be able to do that. I'm still trying to figure out how to display the comment section.
So let's make that big. This whole thing.
But we will get to your comments. Oh, it's right here, and your discussion. So I am able to see your.
Somebody just throw up a comment
page.
for me. I just need to see something.
And we can go from there. So the topic that we are going to discuss is we've had several.
Oh man,
this is something that we are always talking about.
Yeah, constantly.
About marriage and his perspective, my perspective, what I grew up with, what I knew, what he knew. So this is something that we discuss all the time because he was previously married. I have never been married, and we even. Up until yesterday was discussing it, and he's had an epiphany. And
So
I want him to start off with that, and then we'll go from there.
So I was really excited about this. That's why I've been telling a lot of people I'm about to drop some nuggets.
Oh, sorry. By the way, grab your cup, grab your tea, get comfy.
Hey guys,
and we're going to talk.
Cheers.
So cheers.
We're having a good conversation today. Okay. So I'm gonna sip on that. So first of all, I like to thank God real quick because this live right here almost didn't happen. Even after we posted the flyer, it almost didn't happen. Had some situations pop up where almost like the energy was getting sucked out of us throughout this week. And just yesterday, I was praying and meditating, thing I do every morning before I go to work. And this epiphany came to me about relationships and how they can be viewed. So it goes something like this. Y'all have to follow me down this little rabbit hole. Okay. Being in a relationship, when you're looking for somebody, what you're getting out of that person is a sword and a shield. Okay. So I'll break this down a little bit. When you think of a sword and a shield, you think of a sword as being the thing that everybody sees. You see a warrior, you see a sword. It's everything that everybody can see. It's the big thing that everybody's afraid of or the big thing that everybody's laughing at. So most times the sword is your physical things, the things that people will pick on you on, your height, your weight, your color, your ethnicity, your bank account, your job, your the car you drive, and all the things that people can see, and they make judgments about you because of that physical thing that you can see. Now the shield, on the other hand, are the things that actually protect you. Your mind state, your spirituality, your emotions, your heart, the way you operate, the way you treat other people. So I was thinking about this the other day while I was meditating, and it's like, it's real easy to see somebody when you're looking to have a mate or something. It's easy to see somebody with a nice car, a nice job, a nice physique, whatever it is, and think that that's what really matters. But you have to take both. There's a lot of people that are rich, a lot of celebrities that we all know, got plenty of money, plenty of success, fame, anything you could think of, and they crazy. They're crazy, right? Because their emotions aren't taken care of. Their shield is damaged. So when you get in a relationship with somebody and you see this large sword, or you see a small sword, in your opinion, this is just your opinion. This is the same thing your cousin will tell you about such and such down the street. Oh, he ain't got no real job. Whatever that is. But a lot of times what happens is we're looking for the perfect match for us, the perfect set. And without commitment to a sword or a shield, you'll never get good at using it. So marriage is that commitment. When you can say, okay, I found a sword and I found a shield. I found a person that I'm interested in. Okay. And I'm willing to stop looking around for other swords and shields. They're still out there. There's plenty of them out there. You see them everywhere. And you're saying, I'm going to get good with this sword and this shield. The beautiful thing about marriage is once you put down all those childish ways and you stick with one sword and one shield, you get better and better with time. That's why I salute everybody that's had a marriage for 5, 10, 15, 35, 37. You know who he is. I came from my grandparents on my dad's side celebrated 75 years of marriage before passing away. And to me, that's phenomenal. And they were Mr. and Mrs. Palmer. Don't nobody bother Mr. and Mrs. Palmer. You know why? You know how big that sword and shield is? You know how skilled they are with that sword? Ain't nobody mess with Mr. and Mrs. Palmer. That's heritage right there. You can't mess with that. So, other thing is, I was previously married, right? I'm not here to badmouth anybody, so get that out of your mind. If you're watching that for this, it's the wrong place for it.
That's not what we do.
Here's the thing. If I have my sword and my shield, and I'm using it daily to fight the world that's against me, trials and tribulations I go through, everything that's bothering me in the world, everything that bothers me in any way, and I'm not taking the time to sharpen my sword or polish my shield, it's going to get dull. It's not going to do what it's supposed to do. I have to look at me first. I can't go, oh, this sword sucks, or this shield is not doing it. If I'm not taking care of it, if I don't pour into this woman,
vice versa,
how is she going to protect me? What does my shield look like if I don't polish it? What does my sword look like if I don't sharpen it? I can still use it. It might look good on the surface,
Right.
but when I go into that battle, I'm empty-handed. What are your thoughts on that? I gave this knowledge to her the day I had it on Thursday morning. Literally yesterday morning when I came home from work, it had been on my mind all day, and I didn't want to spoil it. I was going to shock her with it on the show, but it was just too good.
Man,
it's too good.
Like when he shared that with me, it really blew my mind because you never really think of like marriage or like a committed relationship, because I don't want to disrespect anyone's view. This is just our view as married couples.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to swing you one way or the other. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's okay. But this discussion about marriage, like that really blew my mind, because there are times where when we are in committed relationships or when we're married, we think of, oh, well, I'm going to get this person to look better for me, you know,
right.
like just a trophy, or I'm going to get this person to change them the way how I want them, and not taking into consideration that each of you are two individual people.
So I will say this to add on to that. If we were looking at it like a sword and a shield, and my shields have broken, my swords have broken, I'm adding the shield piece that I need for my shield. I'm adding the sword piece that I need for my sword. And it's not that I'm perfect. It's not that she's perfect. It's that when we come together and we work together and we get better together, that's progression. That's what we all looking for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you as a man, and this is just one man, okay, keep that in mind. This is just one man.
Done a lot of crazy stuff, but I'm just one man.
How did you as a man decide that marriage was for you? Was something that you wanted to, or did you even want to aspire to marriage? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think most men can agree that you can only play the game for so long. Right. No, nobody wants to be, and if you like this, I'm sorry, it is what it is. But nobody wants to be 50 and at the club. Nobody wants to be chasing down girls at 50 and 60 years old, trying to be cool and hip and all that stuff. So every man, I think, wants to have someone to be with, someone to grow old with. I think women, y'all be feeling the same way, I imagine, especially when 30 or so hit. Y'all be like, I'm not married yet. Oh my God. Anyway.
Not all women. Let's correct that.
Okay. My bad. But I think for me, it was, I wanted someone to build with. And it's one thing to date and jump. But again, I'm not building anything. I can't get good with this sword and shield if I'm not using it. If I got to practice with 3 or 4 different swords and shields, who am I fighting?
So your thing about like, or your view on a relationship or gearing towards marriage is creating legacy.
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's like, what happens if I'm not doing anything? If I'm not taking any responsibility for my neighborhood, for the kids in my neighborhood, for the few guys that work that look up to me, like what do I represent? So to me, that's leaving a legacy, whether it's through a kid or through a job or whatever that is. A legacy is what people remember you for. People will know you stand for. That's that shield. People are not going to care about my sword once I die. I'm not going to look good. I'm going to get old. People get old and flabby and they rot in the grave. But my ideas, my heart, my character, that's going to live forever. It's going to live forever.
That's so true. Wow.
It's going to live forever. So, so in marriage, as a man, for me, how people see me treat my wife is important to me. Because I want to show the world that it's definitely not the ball and chain that people make it out to be. I think that's crazy. I think I have more freedom now than I ever had. And that's because I get to be me 100% of the time. See, if I got to pick up, I'm going back to the sword and shield thing. If I got to pick up another sword and shield every time I leave the house, then I'm fighting a different style every time I leave the house.
Wow. And you're losing yourself.
Oh, and I don't even know who I am. I don't even know who I am.
So for those out there who are trying to find their soulmate and they're constantly bouncing, or they have multiple relationships outside of their platonic relationship,
right?
How does that affect them?
So check this out.
Break it down a little bit more.
Yeah, check this out. So here's what's trippy about relationships.
This is just our experience.
Yeah. I'll even say this is my opinion, my Lance Palmer's opinion. What a lot of people do is look for a relationship to fix the holes in themselves. So what I think most people need to do, if you're looking for a mate or you're trying to get into a relationship, be who you need to be first. Because if I present myself to this woman as a different sword and a different shield when she meets me, and I'm putting on this front, and I'm whatever that is, whatever that looks like.
Grab my teeth. Go ahead.
and then I get in a committed relationship, not even a marriage. I get a committed relationship, and she starts to see the flaws and the fake gold that's on my shield. It's starting to peel off. Now she sees that I'm actually bronze at this level, and I'm not even really like that. I thought you would like that. But see, I gotta like me. If I don't like me, and I'm not presenting myself as myself, and so when you get somebody, how do you even know they love you? Because you don't.
Okay, sorry, guys, we're silly. So it happens. So go ahead. So.
So I think it starts with self-love, self-appreciation, and that can come in as many forms as it needs to. I think for me, it was realizing that, yes, I've been through some things, and God has held my hand the whole time. So God loves me regardless. So I better get the love of me so somebody else can love me.
Somebody else loves you, babe.
Somebody. Okay.
Another question. Okay, so you were married previously. When did you know that you wanted to get married, or that you wanted to put off like dating other people as a man? When did you know to like stop?
Oh, you mean the first time?
Like just sure.
I'll go with it because the first time. And this is what I mean. Like I had to learn how to love myself first. The first time I did it, to be honest with you, I did it because I thought it was the right thing to do. And that's important for me to say because I don't want people to misinterpret it at all. Like I was in love, but I didn't know who I was. So how can I be the man of the household and I don't even know who I am? Wow. I'm a boy who had somebody with me in a different part of the country, and I thought the right thing to do, the manly thing to do, would be to marry this person and give her some type of security. But that wasn't for me to do at that time. That was the dream I had of doing something I didn't know. I barely know what I'm doing now. Back then, I didn't have a clue. I don't want to get into that too deep, but it's like I was by myself. I had somebody with me for the first time. I was out of the house, so this is when most people leave the house and they start to grow on their own and figure out who they are without the people who knew them as a kid. I remember you when you was, all that's out the window. I'm figuring out who I am, and I take on that much responsibility. That's just hindsight is 20/20.
Right.
But that was irresponsible. That was irresponsible. And as a man getting married, it's exactly what I'm doing, is taking on all the responsibility. I think a man, hear this, man. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta
listen up.
I gotta smack us across the head real quick. Because it's sad to see. Men want to be head of the household, right? Men want to dominate. Men want to. You listen to me. You listen good. You want to cross that. All that stuff. That's crazy to me. You know why? Because if she's not good, then I'm not good. And how can I expect her to listen to me if I'm not? So listen, it's this vicious cycle. So if you're not good, I'm not good, right? And you're not good because I'm not pouring into you. Now, see, you're the nurturer. You're the one that takes care of me. You women.
Most females.
Here you go, women. Here you go, women. Be your man's peace. I'm sure you guys have heard that, right? It's all across the internets and the webs. Right. But you know what the thing is? It's not about always being there to console me. Oh, I'm always crying and she has to take care of me. It's about when I say things to her, I know what comes back to me is not detrimental to me. Right. It's not, even if she tells me to shut up, it's like, I care for you. But I can't expect that from her if I'm not willing to protect her, be the responsible person, the man of the household. You know what that really means? It means that regardless of my opinion, your opinion, whatever we decide to do, what happens is I'm responsible for it.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of times, like, we as women, well, some of us have to take on that role because single mothers and right. single women, single caretakers. And then there are some women who are in a marriage and have a man, and they want to assume the role of leadership. But like at the same time, with leadership, there comes a great responsibility.
It's a toll, man.
And to be honest with you, it's not one that we as women were supposed to bear within the constructs of marriage. The men were supposed to be the ones to have that responsibility. And now, because like everything's all flipped around, you know, it's different. And also, be honest, like some men are not stepping up to the plate.
Oh yeah.
At all.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, you know.
But you know what? I think, and this is why it's really important for me to do this video right now, is that men aren't stepping up to the plate because they don't have an example. I think it's important. I mean, you got celebrities, you know, people you see on TV, you see movies and all this stuff, but our neighbor, Mr. Willie, right across the street, he's the man. He is the man. He don't have nothing really fancy, decent house, decent car, but Mr. Willie is the man. He takes care of everybody on the street. Everybody knows his name. Nobody's gonna bother him. You know why? Because he's the man. And he doesn't have to be the flashiest guy, make all the money.
Right.
That's not important because his shield is just as big as his sword.
So
his community work.
Yeah. So the book that we're reading is by Tony Evans.
Oh yes.
The Kingdom Marriage.
I recommend. Let me bring this up. Y'all got to make sure y'all get this. Great book.
This has truly been an eye opener for us.
Want to talk about submission?
Oh, we're going to talk about that. So it's been an eye opener for us, and we're truly grateful to have a lot of married couples who are more experienced to mentor us and pour into us, and we're truly grateful for that.
Yes.
So if you're a married
everybody
couple,
at origin.
Thank you.
Really?
Find yourself a mentor, a marriage mentor. It's been really helpful for us. But when we were reading this book, Tony Evans put into perspective Adam and Eve.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You wanna take that over?
So this is a
technically
summary.
It's not Eve's fault because everybody want to blame me.
Okay. So here's the thing, guys. All right. Here's what you have to realize. There was Adam, Eve, God, and Satan for the most part. Animals and stuff were everywhere, but these were the main characters inside this part of the Bible. And I had to ask myself, in this story, I had to ask myself, okay, why didn't Satan go try to trick Adam? Right? Ponder that for a minute. And then when he did go to trick Eve, where was Adam? So, men, again, I say, head of the household, you are responsible for whatever happens. Okay, I had to get that out real quick. Now, I'd imagine that Satan knew that Adam was serving God in his full purpose, and Eve was looking for her protection. Satan knew this. He said, "Hey there, little lady, you want to?" And see, and this is the first other person or person that can talk to her, thing that can talk to her was Satan in the serpent form. So she's what is that? You know, while Adam's out there busy naming cows and
whatever
pigeons,
he was doing,
whatever he was doing. Here it is, this other thing that can talk to her that said, "Hey, you want to learn more about things that you don't know? So really, that's all it is. He piqued her curiosity. Now, I don't know what Adam was doing, but he should have been the hedge of protection around her. And the story shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, because like even like the book talks about Eve going to Adam, and Adam didn't assume his role.
Yes.
As telling Eve, well, Eve, you probably shouldn't, you should not eat of it. Like she was like, here, eat of it, and they
Adam
both,
went right along with it.
So like with that, like growing up and learning different things and seeing different people and how they interact with each other, like how did you know that, or how did you know what type of marriage or what type of relationship that you wanted?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, one, I wanted complete honesty. I wanted an honest relationship because I had lied so much in previous relationships to myself. Not knowing who I was. I need to know who I am so I can present myself true and whole to someone else. And I want the person I'm with to know that whether it hurts or not, I'm never gonna lie to you.
Right.
Like that's it. And to me, that's how you build legacy for your children. So if you want to talk about like how do you find your spouse, how do you do that? What do you want? What do you want to be? As a man, as a woman,
yeah.
How do you want to be? Like when they put you in the ground, what are they going to say about you? So I aspire every day to be the best version of me I can, understanding where I'm at, my capabilities, my strengths, my weaknesses. And in my relationship, I expect some of the things that I know I'm weak at to be magnified. Like keep it a whole 100. I feel closer to God when I'm with you. And that might be I don't know what that is. It is what it is. And that's one of the things that really made me want to say, yes, I want to marry this woman because, one, you didn't need me for nothing.
So didn't ladies, when you're looking for a man,
don't need a man. Don't need a man.
You want to have him with you and share this life with you, but you don't need him to pay your bills. You don't need him to clothe you. You don't need him to make you feel good. You don't need him.
And fellas, when you decide to take a lady, give her something to follow.
Yes,
matter of fact,
that was a huge thing.
Let's flip that question.
That was a huge thing for me because I essentially went to him because submission. Me, no, I was taught to be very independent, very high strung, very stubborn. I'm Trinidadian, so eyes at Trini, yeah, right from top to bottom, eyes at Trini.
I'm just
y'all didn't know I could bring it out, huh?
I'm just a Southern boy.
No, but I literally went to him. I was like, give me something to submit to,
right?
Because I did not want to submit to anything that was not at my level. And at the time when we were still young and dumb, dating and like trying to figure out life, I literally left him and to figure it out. I started my own business. I went off to Virginia and I was like, give me something to submit to. And
I went and did a bunch of dumb stuff. That's what I did.
And like prove to me like that you're worthy. Because like as a woman, and coming from the great examples that I've had surrounding me as a child, I wanted a strong male.
Shout out to all of y'all, by the way. I love all of your aunties.
They're fantastic. I'm really blessed. I'm really grateful to have like strong, powerful women around me and men, and I'm just really grateful for that. But like, so what is your take on submission? Like, what do you?
So it's okay. So. I don't know the scripture verbatim, but women submit to your husbands is something along those lines, right?
Like respect your husbands, essentially.
Yes.
And men, love your women like you love the church.
Okay, so I need people to realize something. Jesus died for the church. Okay? It says submit to God and love. Okay, first, men, you have to submit to God. Okay, you're not above.
Even Jesus submitted to
You're
God.
not. Yeah, you're not above. And Jesus was like, "Why you forsake me, man?" Like,
yeah.
And Jesus walked on water. So if you don't think you have to submit to God, you got something else coming. But that's, I don't want to get too religious on that. If you practice other religion, that's your thing. But love your wife as God loved the church, as Jesus loved the church. So I have to have my wife in the most pristine eyes I could ever have her in. What does Jesus love more than the church?
Mind you, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. We still work in progress. This is just our.
I'm just trying to figure out what Jesus loved more than the church.
But anyway, yeah. So submission.
And in that, if I'm not submitted to God, I can't expect my wife to submit to me. Whew. So we were talking about that leadership a minute ago.
Yeah.
And even though I feel closer to God when I'm with you, there's been moments where I felt in my spirit that something that's bothering you is just the devil. It's literally just, it's nothing. It's so much. There's so much. This video almost got canceled.
Man.
And I got to tell you,
let's go ahead and explain.
I gotta, because I mean, was it last night I was talking about it?
You were talking about it like Wednesday night, like 2 days ago.
I just felt like how many people are we going to reach? This was the first flyer that Danielle made. By the way, she makes the flyers. I can make flyers too.
He outlined it.
I told her I'm not doing a flyer every week. So this was the most viewed flyer we've ever put out.
I've had 550 views from the flyer, and I felt like people are hungry for this type of conversation.
Right. And there's going to be more. There's going to be more, by the way.
Right.
We're going to do a part 2.
Absolutely.
I plan on having 2 guests. I don't know if you knew I was going to have 2 guests on your show.
Okay.
Anyway.
Either way, we want to have these conversations.
And so what was happening is since we committed to doing this video, and this was like maybe weeks ago, we committed to doing this video. Mm-hmm. There's been breakdown after breakdown after breakdown at the stutter step after stutter step, and even when you try to find some joy, I took my wife to a massage parlor. It's a blessed touch. Shout out to Nicole. And just to get away for like a Saturday and a Sunday when we didn't do anything, right? Just to relax, and then come Monday.
Man, all hell broke loose.
I don't want to get into too far into our personal stuff, but
all hell broke loose.
But by Wednesday, man, we were like,
emotionally and physically.
I don't even know if I want to do this. But then again, I pray and I meditate every morning. I think about these things. I got put in a whirlwind about the people that were liking the post that I made and who they were that liked it. I was like, well, why did they like the post? Why did they want to watch the video? And I was changing up my message and what I was going to say, and all these doubts in my head about, are you even qualified? You were previously married. Like all these,
who cares?
Nonsensical things that were trying to enter my spirit to try to tell me not to do this. But I'm a hypocrite if I don't.
Here we are.
I'm going to be honest because I want to be honest. That's what I aspire to be at all times, is honest. So yes, I was scared. Yes, I was nervous. But once we get the cameras going, baby, my wife did the whole lighting and the background. I don't know if you noticed. This is not CGI. This is an actual background. We put this up together. But I think if we're not having these type of conversations, if the Pearl Tips doesn't exist, and people aren't hungry for the knowledge, they won't tune in.
Right.
And so what?
And that's okay. Like we want to break down stigma and give just a different perspective to you all and encourage you all.
It's important.
So going back to your perspective on marriage, why? Like I know that's
why?
But like why?
You know what?
Why even get married at all?
Okay, so there's a difference between being married and being in a committed relationship, right? I don't understand being in a committed relationship, to be honest with you. For like more than like 5-6 years, what are you trying to do? Because to me, if you're in that long of a relationship, in the eyes of the law, you're already common law married. Like that's already a thing. But you're missing out on tax benefits. you're missing out on. You know what I'm saying? Your kids can have the same last name. You know. Anyway, but why marriage? Because I believe in what God says about two being better than one. If I'm just in a relationship, we can get in a bad fight and really it can be over. Break up to make up. That's all we do. That's a game for fools. If you know the song. That's a game for fools. Why would you do that? And also, I know if I'm married to a woman, her best interest is for me to be in mine. So like, if I'm in a committed relationship, somebody, you know, I've been waiting for you to slip up. I've been looking at Tony down the street for the last 2 years. I've been waiting for you to slip up. But in a marriage, it's like, if I'm not good, she's not good. If she's not good, I'm not good. So we have to work. We have to work together. We're a team. And it's a commitment in front of God. It's a commitment to her family. It's a commitment to my family. Like, you know, when we got married, your father had to be willing to let you go. And that's a big step. Yeah. It's a huge responsibility, fellas. Don't get married unless you're ready.
Yeah. Don't rush
You are now responsible
for somebody else's child.
For someone, you're literally my dependent. Literally, like, so. It's important to know where you are before you ever make that choice. Because if you don't know where you are, who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, then the helpmate's nothing.
So how do you as a man help yourself find yourself, if that makes sense? So just kind of help, because I know a lot of times people are like, how do I find myself? Like, who am I? Like, what do I do?
I think every man has in their mind who they want to be. Now, not what they want to be. As far as like,
explain the difference
between
the what and the who.
So like, I want to be a millionaire. That's a what I want to be. I want to be a millionaire. But who I want to be is a good person. Who I want to be is a good father. Who I want to be is a good wife. Who I want to be is a good mentor. You know, who I want to be is a loving person. Again, what's going to be on my tombstone? What is my legacy? That's a better way to put it. What is my legacy? But what I want to be my own boss. And that can mean 1,000 things. That can mean I own Google, or that can mean I own a lemonade stand. So the what I want to be that's who you want to be is what's important. So men, find out who you want to be. If you want to be like your father, that's what you aspire to be, you know his tendencies, go for it. But stop pretending like you don't have to be somebody. See, if men keep going through life, and this is, I gotta keep slapping you across the head, fellas, because we gotta get it together. We gotta do better. We gotta protect these women, okay? If I don't know who I want to be, and I'm a young man growing up in the world will tell me who I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they will do it in a heartbeat, or the devil will tell you, whoever you want to call them, somebody's going to tell you who you are. And if you follow that, then you've already failed. Because someday, unfortunately, you get incarcerated or something tragic happens to your family. That's when the real test happens. And now you have to find out who you are, not what the world told you were. And sometimes by then it's too late.
Do you think it's hard for guys to find out who they are or who they want to be?
I think if we stop focusing on everybody else, everything else in the world, I think it's important to travel a little bit. I don't mean you have to go far, but get to a place where nobody knows you. Get to a place, you know, and I think a lot of that is for people that's college, but most people go to college, they still go to local school, or they go to a state school with somebody they went to high school with, or somebody from the neighborhood that just happened to go, like y'all ain't planning to go to the same. Anyway, but I think for me, after my previous marriage, finding out who I was again, for me, was the cruise ship. So for those that don't know, I worked on a cruise ship for about, 6 months? Anyway, an extended period of time where literally I went to training in New Jersey, and then I was on a boat that traveled from Virginia up to Maine back and forth for 6 months. crew's constantly changing. The guests coming on and off board are constantly changing. So nobody knows me. I'm Lance, and that's all they know me as, Lance. They don't know my previous marriage. They don't know how much I drink. They don't know if I smoke. They don't know my family. They don't know nothing about me. So now I get to create me. How do you create yourself? I mean, because that who you are is internal. It's going to come out whether you see it or not. And so what ended up happening is people were telling me on the boat, like, mind you, I'm not paying much attention, but people are telling me, oh, you're a good leader. Wait, what? You take command, you're a hard worker. And these people are telling me this, and I'm not trying to show them that. I'm just being me. So the freedom to be yourself is how you figure out who you are. And understand something, ladies and gentlemen. I need y'all to understand something. Somebody's gonna like you.
Yeah. You
don't have to be this or that or this or that. If you're you, there's somebody out there that likes your flavor.
That's true. That's absolutely true. And it's like, I think we get so caught up in trying to be who other people say we are.
Right.
And like we carry on sometimes in negative legacies of like our parents' generation or our grandparents.
It becomes
weighted. It becomes like a generational curse that we carry with us. And it's like there comes a time where you have to decide as the individual what type of man do you want to be? Do you want to be like your father who, abused your mother or was yelling at you constantly?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be someone who's, strong but loving?
And the hard thing to do is just to choose.
Yeah.
Because it's like my cousin Charlton would say, you can work out, but if you don't choose to eat right, you still gonna be. You have to make a conscious decision to make a change. Choose who you want to be, and then there's books, YouTube.
There's so many things.
There's thousands of bit of information to figure out who you want to be and how you want to do it. If you want to have a nonprofit and be a caregiver to the homeless people, if that's what you want to do, figure it out. You can do it.
We're truly blessed to be in this day and age of information.
YouTube University, baby.
Yeah, and therapists.
Class up every year.
There are therapists. There's support groups. There's different transformational workshops that you can attend to kind of help you in your journey. But don't feel like you're stuck, and don't go outside of your neighborhood.
Right.
A lot of times we as people of color tend to stick together. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, if you're trying to find out who you are, go into different circles and get like different perspectives.
Get outside. So that get outside your box.
Kind of like see what are your morals and values. Speaking of morals and values, how did you develop as a man your morals and values? Because a lot of times we take on what our parents taught us or our generations before us taught us, but a lot of times we also form ourselves. So how do we bring ourself
to that
and what we've learned from like generations before us and kind of combine them into like a unique fit for the individual?
Real quick, I want to say something about that last point we did before. I'm gonna get to that though.
Okay.
I forgot who said it now. I didn't really remember to begin with, but it goes basically something like this. If you talk to your same friends and family about the issues that they're going to agree with you and or disagree with you, you'll never learn anything. So you got to step outside your box. If you want to find out who you are by just being, you can't be around the same people. They know you from, and they're going to tell you when you're changing. Boy, you're changing. You used to be. No, just be, grow, change, evolve. Anyway, my morals, my values. It's funny. I said honesty in my relationship, like that's one of the big things. And that actually, now I hadn't thought about it till just now, but that actually came from my dad. Because my dad would never give me a whooping unless I lied to him. It didn't matter what I did. If I told him the truth, all right, learn your lesson, move forward. I might get grounded or punished or something, but he never gave me a whooping unless I lied. So honesty in a relationship is very important. But also, without getting into too much detail, my grandfather on my mom's side, I had twin aunts that weren't inside of his marriage. So like, that's something I don't want to carry into my next relationship. So honesty and faithfulness, like being true. Like, I need you to know at all times that I'm not gonna lie to you. Whether that's, babe, I'm going to the store and I really go to Burger King. No, like that's a lie. Like, or if it's, babe, I'm going out with the fellas. See, and I need you to not have doubt.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
Your security in me gives me that freedom. Guys, it's not a ball and chain. Just be honest with your wife.
Right. Well, speaking on that, thank you for answering that question, but to bring it into another segue, and if you guys have any questions or any comments, please go ahead and post them. Because we are going to do a follow-up as well. So if you have any comments or questions,
we can't really see them as they're going if you are saying something. So, but we'll get to it.
Hey, we got our phone. Just text us or whatever.
You text us.
So for you, I just maybe lost my train of thought.
Sorry. You're still pretty though.
Gosh. So submission.
Right.
A lot of times, like, men don't see it as like, they see it as the women have to submit, but not the man. Because a lot of times, marriage, they see it as a ball and chain. Men don't have their freedom anymore. But like, do you think that's true? So let's start with that one. Do you think that the marriage is a ball and chain? And what are some of the negative stuff that you heard or experienced?
Here's the thing. I think, and this is just my opinion, fellas, y'all have to leave me alone on this one. If you think your wife is ball and chain and you're still a boy, you're acting like a child. You want to have it your way all the time, and if it's not your way, then I'm stuck at home. I can't do what I want. Come on, man. Like, what's more important? Again, listen. If my wife, if I want to go out with the fellas, and my wife asked me not to, because she can't tell me what to do. I can't tell her what to do.
Right.
She asked me not to.
Damn right now. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
If she asked me not to, there's probably a reason. And now, if I'm not willing to have that open communication, that's the other thing. Gotta be able to communicate. Absolutely. If I can't have the conversation with my wife about why, and it not become an argument, then we have a bigger issue. It's bigger than me going out with the fellas. It's something that that you've been wanting to talk to me about, or something you've been feeling, or something. Maybe we need to talk about why the toilet seat keeps staying up. That's why you can't go nowhere. Like, but that's communication.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because now I remember exactly what I want to say.
There we go.
Okay, so
you got to communicate that out. I'm about to make a lose a thought again. Watch.
So for men, sometimes communication is very difficult.
Yes.
And also like vulnerable, like emotions communication, especially for like men of color. Like how did you, I guess, break that chain of toxic masculinity?
I like to think I have a really large shield. Like I think a lot. I connect with my emotions a lot. I think meditation for me helps because I get to just stop and register what's happening to me or what has happened to me, take my time and process stuff, and then I'm able to speak on it. So if I don't ever deal with what's therapy, if I don't ever deal with what's bothering me, whether that's internally or I go see help and deal with what, because men like to let things fester and rotten down inside of them, and then they grow resentment. So that's why it feels like a ball and chain. Oh, we could talk about it.
Go ahead now. Go.
Men like to let things fester, and it's unhealthy for the man, and it's unhealthy for the relationship.
Yeah. Because
now I got this poisonous, gaseous bubble inside of me, and I'm still the head of the household. I'm still responsible for stuff. So I'm making all the money. Why don't you just get off my back? And now I'm angry about something that happened when I was 6 years old, and I didn't understand what was happening to me. And I never dealt with it. I never processed it. So I think everybody, every single person, all the people should have somebody, whether that's a confidant or a therapist or a best friend, pastor, whoever it is, somebody to be able to talk to that actually has your best intentions. Now, therapists are paid to have your best interests. You're basically paying, no? They're paid to help you process. I'm trying to make. I know it sounds dirty like that, but I make it sound dirty. But think about it. If you paid your best friend to listen to your problems, how much more attentive would they be?
Side note, therapists are also trained professionals to help
I assumed the
process.
Audience knew that part. Like they know better how to help you process your emotions than your pastor or your friend or most pastors.
Thank you. There are pastors as well who are trained and know.
I was about to say something bad about Rivera Beach.
Anyway, so like communication.
Yes.
How can men communicate better? Like you as a man, what are some ways that you feel that you need to work on as far as communication, or that you want to encourage another man in how to communicate?
I want the encouragement thing I can go with right away. I want men to understand that you might not always be right. And it's okay to be wrong. Women too, for that matter. I'm not even gonna hold men to just that. But if you're afraid to say what you want to say, then you're already failing at communicating. And that's especially in a relationship. If I'm not comfortable enough to just say it,
right,
then something else is wrong. Then I don't trust you at some point. I'm scared of your judgment. I'm like, just say it.
Right.
If it's hard to say it, then I don't know where that would come from. Then the question becomes, where does that fear come from? Why don't I feel comfortable enough to say this? Yeah, like what? And that's bigger than just being able to say it. That's a fear that may come from being judged in other places, in other arenas. At your job, when you speak up, how do people treat you? Like that could be a whole. But I want to encourage people to, especially with your significant other, try to just say it, and be willing to be wrong, and listen. Listen. Don't just you can't help but hear people. Like you have ears, you can hear people all the time, but listen. That's important. Because if you only hear them and you're not really listening and paying attention, you're going to misinterpret what they were trying to say. Again, so
it's kind of like listen to understand, not to respond.
Definitely listen to understand and not to respond, because it's like if I don't listen to what you're saying and I'm just listening to respond, you're going to give me about 3 or 4 of the answers that I wanted in the question I'm about to ask, because I stopped you.
And not only that, you're creating a battle strategy.
Oh yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I'm going to say this back because they said this, and you have a fight going on.
And you have to fight fair.
Yeah.
In a relationship. I know every button to push on this woman to have her cuss me out and kick me out of the house, but I wouldn't do that. That's not smart.
And sometimes your spouse will do that.
Sometimes I have done that.
And that's where the communication comes into play.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, and like I said, we're not perfect. We're definitely still learning as we go. I'm not perfect at all, and because I didn't even want to get married. I did not see marriage. I'm pretty smooth though. I did not see marriage in the cards for myself. I just didn't. I was too independent, high strung. I just didn't want to deal with it. But you showed me another perspective. Go ahead and gloat on me, baby.
Tell the world how great I am.
You showed me another perspective. So it's like, we're getting ready to close out because I don't want YouTube to flag this if we're going over time.
Oh, wow. It's been an hour?
Yeah, almost. But what can you...
Part 2 coming.
So submission.
Sorry.
How can men, submit or just...
learn how to... Okay.
I say that. Submission only on the woman, or
no. Okay, so
in your experience, what have you?
Okay, so in my experience, if I submit to God's order, okay, God wants me to be the man of the household. Therefore, I'm responsible for everything that happens in my household. I'm submitted to that, right? My wife is submitted to me, but she's not submitted directly to me. She's submitted to me through God. Because she also submits to God, but I'm the one responsible. So for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. That's right. That's for me and my household. So if something happens to her, it's my responsibility spiritually. right? Now, she submitted to me only in the context of her responsibility is not hers, it's ours, it's mine through God. Am I making sense?
You getting there.
I'm getting there.
A little technical.
I am, because it's kind of hard to explain. Because men want to, or most people, I want to say most people want to use that submission as a threshold to hold women down, and that's not the case.
Or hold their significant other down.
Yes, I gotta be, yeah. And to me, that's just not fair. But again, you have to love your wife like Jesus loved the church. And if you want to talk about submission, Jesus submitted his life. Everything that he was, everything that he is, he put up for the church. So if I'm looking to dominate you in this submission way, but at the same time would give my all for you, why can't I just give my all for you all the time? Now, is that submission? By virtue, I mean, like I will literally do. Jesus would do anything for his church. I will do anything for you.
That I know, and that's something that I have to like. And mentally, I know
that's how you get the submission. I will do anything for her, and she'll listen to me because she knows I'm doing what I can for her. I imagine. I don't know.
And like for me, it's just like I had to learn to trust him, because I was just like mentally I knew that I can count on him for anything, but like emotionally I was still struggling with it because I've always been taught to stand on my own 2 feet, and like my immediate family or my family is who I lean on, and this is someone who's a stranger to me essentially, and now I'm married to him, and it's just like I have to learn how to trust someone outside of who I know.
And that's still happening.
Absolutely.
So just so y'all clear, we're not the perfect couple. Okay.
No.
I'd like to think we're ahead of a lot of people, but that's okay. I like to brag and boast every now and then. But I think if that's going to be really hard to pull somebody like you from your family, from your comfort zone, if I don't know who I am. Like if I'm shaky when I go to ask for your hand, it's like, nah, man. Nah, man.
So the key thing is for men who are seeking to commit a relationship or seeking to be married is to know thyself.
Know yourself, and don't rush it.
And don't rush it.
Don't rush it.
Communicate.
See, then this is in relationships. Yeah, this is in relationships in general. Communication is 100% key. But as far as a man going into marriage, don't rush it. Know yourself. Know your worth. Okay, you are a king, but actually, I'll even take that a step back. You're a prince. It takes a woman to make you a king. You gotta have it. Okay, I'm just saying that you.
That was deep. I'm trying.
Oh, it took you somewhere.
Now again, this is his perspective.
Prince Hakeem. I'm just saying.
This is his perspective.
Again, my perspective
of that, and I think that men. I gather from that what you were saying is men start off as a prince, and they're not a king until they know who they are.
Well, what does a king do? A king leads and is responsible for his whole kingdom.
This is true. So, in the context of marriage,
in kingship.
You're right.
In kingship, you're responsible for your entire land, your property, everything that lives and breathes under you is your responsibility. So y'all, again, man, we need a part 2.
We do.
Because I'm going on I'm about to go on a rant right now on this kingship stuff.
And we will definitely talk about it. I would like to thank you everyone for tuning in, and hope you guys have a different perspective or a new perspective or something to just think about and talk about.
Fill the comment section up.
Thank you for watching the Pearl Tips, and log on to Facebook and wherever social media is, and Echo Graphix. We'd like to thank you, and thank you, Lance Palmer, my husband, best friend, and confidant.
I'm pretty awesome.
So thank you.
I am because you are.
Yes, I am because you are.
Can I kiss you on live?
No.
Okay.
So thank you, everyone. And remember, you are worth more than pearls. Take care.
Later. You got to end 2 streams. It's gonna be kind of hard.
Give us 1 second. Take care, everyone.
Hey, we love you, though. Yeah, end that one. Bye, fam.